When it comes to Korean work culture, what are 5 big problems that you might be facing? Let's find out. Also, make sure that you get the checklist and the training down below with the link down below. Top 10 mistakes when working with Koreans. I go in a lot more depth in that training. So big problem number 1 is speed. Korea is extremely fast. Yeah, in Korea we call it bali, which kind of translates into quick. Korea really has a giant bali work culture, and you probably have to get faster at whatever it is that you're doing. For example, when I moved here, something that would take 3 days in Canada or Germany, here people want to get it done in 3 hours or less. The faster the better, so pick up your speed. Big problem number 2 is really the hierarchy that we have here in Korea, and really the respect for seniors that is given, not earned. Okay, so Korea really, most companies still have a giant hierarchy, even if they're global multinational companies. But I gotta tell you though, it really depends on the company too, but in most cases that is still the way it is. Yeah, so you gotta understand it. And the challenge is, if you come here as an expat, you have some influence there, because most of you will be higher up in the ranks. But if you work with a Korean company from the outside, it becomes more complicated. Yeah, and to give you one example, in Korea, based on the hierarchy, younger employees' ideas, no matter how great they are often not taken that seriously. Sometimes completely ignored, not as important as the senior people, even if there might be better ideas. Yeah, so and you gotta get to a point where you don't hate that, but you gotta learn to use it, you gotta learn to navigate it. Yeah, so learn to understand the hierarchy. Big problem number 3 is learning and understanding the group mentality. And many people from other countries don't understand it. Yeah, and if you don't understand it, you don't know how to work with it, you can come across as very selfish. Especially if you're from a Western culture, you will often be labeled as selfish based on your behavior. But warning everybody, even if you come from an Asian culture, some Asian cultures are seen in Korea as more selfish. Yeah, in the end it comes down to your behavior. So you gotta learn how to live within the group culture, the group mentality. You gotta learn to make sure that you care about everybody a little bit more. Yeah, so you gotta think about not just you and one person you're talking with, but everybody around you as well. Okay, so learn and understand the group mentality of Korea. Big mistake number 4 is indirect communication. Korea communicates in a very indirect way, and you got to learn and master how they do that. Let me give you a quick example. Let's say in a meeting you're proposing a new idea, and the other side says the following: that's a good idea. We should think about it some more. What does that mean? Is that a yes in your culture? Is that a yes maybe in your culture? What is it? In Korea, that's an absolute no, right? That's an absolute no. And there are 100, if not 1,000 ways to say no in Korea that are very indirect. And that's just about saying no, right? Imagine all these other areas, anything else you can communicate and talk about throughout your work day. In Korea, indirect communication, just give you one tip here. Body language and tone of voice are much more important than the words that are actually said. Much more important. Yeah. And by the way, one final warning here for my friends from Asia or other cultures where you feel we are an indirect culture too. Yeah. Just keep in mind, Korea might be a little bit different. And I've seen Asians who worked in Korea get into trouble because their indirect communication style was simply different. Yeah. So keep learning and keep getting better at the Korean indirect communication. Big mistake number 5, competition. Koreans are extremely competitive. Yeah, extremely competitive. It's just amazing. And just so you know, that is not just with competitors, yeah, competitive companies that they're competing against. No, inside the company too. Okay, fun example too. Some people at lunch, they have a competition and they will, again, indirect communication, they will never say it, but who finishes lunch faster. Who finishes lunch faster, yeah? So there's competition about everything within your own team. And sometimes this can be very overbearing for expats or businesses that work with Korea. But you gotta understand it. Because Koreans even make up competitions. Yeah? So for example, if they wanna work with one company, they wanna get as their vendor, they will make up 3 other vendors that are competing with the one vendor that they want just to get the price down. And these other 3, they either don't exist or they're actually not serious about them. Yeah, so again, competition is huge. You gotta learn it, you gotta understand it. What was your biggest insight? Share it with me in the comments down below. Also, if you haven't done it yet, click the link down below. You wanna get the free training and the checklist, 10 mistakes when working with Koreans and Korean businesses. Yeah, don't miss out on that. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And most importantly, I really look forward to seeing you for the next video.